Crazy how it's already been 3 years since this game originally released, huh? Feels like yesterday I was playing through it by wholly legal means with a friend of mine online. It took Kirby quite a while to finally make that big jump to 3D platforming, and he stuck the landing if you asked me. Kirby in the Forgotten Land is an amazingly fun game and has a ton of things to do in it, with the main story, the arenas, the post-game, and the little challenges that are scattered around the map. Recently they added a new side story mode to play through in the form of Star-Crossed World. What is this? What treasures does it hold? Does Kirby eat a burger with his face on it? First off, I'll come out and say that this maybe isn't worth exactly $20 for the upgrade pack if you already have the game, and I'd put the pricing at something like 10 to 15 bones, personally. Now, this DLC doesn't add wholly original levels, but remixes some pre-existing levels fairly heavily, where some are unrecognizable to their original counterparts. I think I only really have 3 major gripes with this DLC, so we'll blaze through those quickly. First off, it's obvious that this DLC was made just to help sell the Switch 2 version. I didn't really notice any performance issues with the Switch 1 version, and the Switch 2 version doesn't really look all that different. Secondly, minus the final boss, Star-Crossed World doesn't introduce new bosses, but instead introduces slightly harder versions of the base game mini-bosses. It's not a deal breaker, but it would have been nice to see some new faces. The final gripe is that this DLC feels like something that is already in the game. For those who haven't played the more recent Kirby games, here's a quick explanation of what basically all the new Kirby games do. After beating a new Kirby game, you end up usually unlocking a new game mode that is the entire game again but slightly harder and presented as a level gauntlet where you play levels back to back until you beat the game. This game already has that in the form of Forgo Dreams. Star-Crossed World is this, again, but more heavily remixed. At the end of the day, I guess this is more content, and the remixed levels seemed a lot different to me when I was playing through them. I really did enjoy my time with this DLC, so let's get into that. The new mouth abilities are pretty fun to use, and I'd say all are better than some of the duller ones from the base game. Basically just whatever mouth abilities make you move slow. I don't like those ones. The spring is fun to jump around with. The sign can get kinda chaotic in a fun way, and actually had me resetting to get the secret routes. The gear ended up being my favorite, with you being able to jump off walls and tear through enemies in most obstacles. The movement with this one can get crazy, and that's always a good time in a 3D platformer. One thing I really liked about Star-Crossed World is how there weren't really any parts of the levels that slowed down the pace of the game, and all of these levels you could blaze through fairly fast if you wanted to. I also loved the terrain change that the levels would undergo if you hit one of these crystal flowers. I thought I'd get sick of the crystal level theming in every single one of these stages, but I didn't because it always looked so good. The final boss has to be the highlight for me. At first I was disappointed that they were reusing the design for the final boss of the base game, but once the fight itself actually started, that slowly faded. The first 2 times I fought it, I just wasn't doing enough damage and I had to mostly just focus on staying alive. After slamming my face into that brick wall a few times, I backtracked, upgraded my hammer, and I ended up doing enough damage. So if you end up having a hard time with this boss fight, maybe just backtrack and upgrade your copy ability. It'll help. Every time I beat one of these phases, I thought it was over, and every time I was proven wrong. I swear to God, if there's something else. If there was another phase, I think I'd actually have to, like, go upgrade something. I can't do that. Are you fucking kidding me? I was joking! How much more is there? And the final phase took me completely off guard when I got to it. This phase wasn't too hard, but I could see it killing somebody with 2 little health right at the end. It felt like I was playing a damn Dark Souls game with having to memorize patterns and dodging accordingly. The counterattack is really what I ended up relying on to rack up damage and what helped me do enough to kill the bastard. Whenever you're playing a Kirby game, you'll end up getting to the point where you're questioning how this still is a baby game, and this is sure as hell one of those moments. They also ended up making a whole new ending song just for the DLC, which is a very nice touch. In all, I really loved this DLC. It was a very good time. This just makes me wonder what direction the Kirby series will go in the future. Will it be more 3D like this game, or will they go back to 2D for Kirby's next big outing? I, for one, think that Kirby has had a ton of good 2D games, and it would be nice to see more of what they had here in Forgotten Land. I was shocked this DLC didn't add a single new copy ability or even an upgrade for one of the previous ones. I always thought it was weird that the base game didn't have Fighter, and it would have rocked with the upgrade mechanic and in a 3D space. Just imagine a suplex stage in the upgrade process where you could toss stars and enemies around all over the place. I don't even want to hear you talking about Kirby if you don't like suplex. If you don't like suplex, get the fuck out. I ended up having to play through the entire game again for this video to unlock all the DLC, and I really enjoyed my time with this game. It's insane how much I ended up forgetting, and I loved it all over again the second time around. If there ever is to be another 3D Kirby game, I will be there day one, engorging on one of these famous Kirby burgers. Oh yeah, and if you haven't played it yet, you should check it out if you ever got the chance. See you around. Bye. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Okay, bye.